Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar dedicated to child protection. Today, we are live from Bolivia with a very close partner, ChildFund Bolivia. And during this webinar, we are going to better understand how the prevention of child violence plays a crucial role within the projects in Bolivia. So thank you, sponsors, donors, and teams to support us to make sure every child is protected. Thank you and welcome again.
Thank you also from my side. Today is a very special day because it's the International Day of the Family declared by the UN. So it's this special day, and that was also the purpose why we host this webinar today, because we relate very closely the topic of family to the topic of child protection. So that's basically the reason why we're having this webinar today. And we are very delighted to have our colleagues and partners from Bolivia with us. So let's start with the next page.
The next page for maybe can have the few information. Thank you. Before we get started, please turn off your microphone if it's not already the case, so we all remain mute and no sound in the background. If some part of this presentation are going to be in Spanish, so if you're not comfortable with the Spanish language, you can use the interpretation box and tool in the bottom of the Zoom tool to switch and choose English. There will be a live translation during the webinar, so feel free to use it. If you have any question, please write them in the chat box again at the bottom of your screen. And just remind that it's a live webinar, so some technical issues may occur. So if you can't hear anything or something about the video is not working, please chat again. Use the chat tool to let us know. And last, this webinar is recorded, so if you want to watch it again, you may, and you will. So thank you, everyone. Let's continue with the presentation. And today's speaker, I'm Joanne Talek from Un Enfant par la Main, and with me, Lukas Hoffmann from ChildFund Deutschland, Germany. So we both are sponsor relation managers. And with us, Yolanda Menezes, youth group leader, Roxana Nunes, and Ludi Gispe, theater youth group from the Caminando futuro participants, and Ximena Loza, who is the country director of ChildFund Bolivia. They all will present themselves later in the presentation of this webinar. So welcome, everyone.
So let's start into this. This is the agenda for today. So as said, we are very happy to have our colleagues from Bolivia with us. We will start with a very deep and interesting insight and keynote from Yolanda, followed by the social drama. I think the social drama is the key part of this webinar because it's a theater play of a youth group called Caminando al futuro of the city of La Paz in Bolivia. And after having watched this, then we will get some background information shared by the members Ludi and Roxana. And the end of the webinar basically will be done or closed by the Q&A session. So all of our donors and sponsors and supporters will have the option to ask any question. And we will translate those questions and get the answers also translated. So having said that, we hand over to the next slide.
Okay, good evening to all of you over there. Here it's almost noon here in La Paz, Bolivia, and we are very delighted to welcome you all to this session and to hosting this session here in La Paz. I would like to tell you a little bit of what we are going to see during this hour, the next hour. We are going to see a little bit of what type of problems do children, adolescents, and young people and their families face here in the country, as well as what ChildFund is doing to tackle down those issues. And we are going to finally see also what young people are doing in order to prevent and stop violence in Bolivia. So let's get started.
Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Yolanda Meneses Navia. I am the leader of the community mechanism from Ansaldo, and I am going to present the issues that boys, girls, adolescents, and young people face in our beloved Bolivia, and the activities that we carry out in ChildFund and the communities. To begin with, I want to tell you that Bolivia is located in the heart of South America. It has 9 departments and 36 different indigenous peoples. We also have very beautiful plains, valleys, and highlands. Bolivia has more than 12 million people or inhabitants. It is a really young country because over 50% of the population is under the age of 24 years old. Almost 4.5 million inhabitants are girls, boys, and adolescents. And 1.2 million are young adults. Currently, ChildFund has been working directly with more than 100,000 girls, boys, adolescents, young people and their families and communities in the departments of La Paz, Cochabamba, Santa Cruz, Tarija, and Oruro. Indirectly, we reach out to more than 1 million people. Which are the issues that girls, boys, young people, and their families face in Bolivia? Between the most concerning types of violence, we have sexual violence, gender-based violence, family violence, school violence, and online violence. And the girls and young women are more vulnerable to these types of violence. Every day, more than 110 cases of violence against children and adolescents are reported in Bolivia. Between physical, sexual, and psychological violence, and the most common type is the sexual abuse. A study revealed that in most of the cases, the perpetrator is someone from the family, school, or social circle from the victim. It is also evident that male adolescents are more likely to be victims of physical violence, while female adolescents are more likely to be a victim of sexual violence. Regarding sexual violence and gender-based violence, 9 out of 10 victims of sexual violence under the age of 18 are women. Every day, an average of 89 teenage pregnancies are registered, the majority of which are results of the violation of sexual violence to women in the ages between 15 and 19 years old. 5 out of 10 women, young women, suffer from some kind of violence in their early romantic relationships, like yelling, jealousy, privacy violation, or physical aggressions. Bolivia is one of the countries where being a girl or a woman is very dangerous. It has one of the highest rates of violence against women and early pregnancies. Besides, girls and young women between 12 and 24-year-olds are the ones that dedicate most of their time caring for children, the elderly, or family members, sick family members, among others, which interferes with their rights to education, work, leisure time, and others. And these women or young girls don't get any kind of payment for this work. Physical and psychological abuse and neglect that take place within families represent 31% of the reasons why children and adolescents are separated from their families and placed in shelters. There is also violence in schools. 4 out of 10 students suffer from bullying, and just in average, 1 dares to report it. The impact of bullying in school can range from school dropout to suicide due to its effects on mental health, as well as perpetuating and reproducing more violence. Finally, technology has helped us in many ways, but it is also a means through which we expose ourselves to digital violence. This because 5 out of 10 children and adolescents feel unsafe when they use the internet. 2 out of 10 face some form of digital violence. It could be cyberbullying and or contact by strangers for engaging in sexual relations. And what is ChildFund doing together with the communities to prevent these types of violence? Families and the community share a responsibility for children's rights protection. Therefore, community-based protection mechanisms are fundamental to support all the systems to prevent all these kinds of violence, because many times, because of a lack of resources, human and economical, the children's ombudsmen are not able to carry out these kinds of prevention actions. ChildFund in Bolivia has supported the creation of 18 community protection mechanisms with the participation of adolescents and young adults. I represent one of these mechanisms. That's the one that's named Al Saldo, that is located in the high valley of Cochabamba. My mechanism works since 2018, and it is made up of mothers, fathers, girls, boys, adolescents, and young fathers. They are fundamental because everyone plays a different role, an important role, in the implementation of the activities for sensibilization and awareness raising and training activities that we carry out in the community. We also carry out many kinds of activities like workshops for mothers, where we discuss nutrition, care, gender equality, and also perform theater for children to raise awareness about children's rights. We also create messages to raise awareness about violence and spread it on social media, like in TikTok, Instagram, and in the WhatsApp groups of our community. The main challenges we face as a mechanism are making agreements with the municipality and the Ombudsman's office, since there's a change in the Ombudsman's authority every year and we must establish a new approach. Also, to don't lose the will to work, sometimes the chores at home don't allow time to carry out actions with the mechanism. We also would really like to achieve more participants in the mechanism from our members and from other young people. Thank you very much for your time. With one heart and together, we will keep fighting against all forms of violence affecting children and teenagers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yolanda, for your insightful presentation. As you were able to see, we do really have a lot of challenges here in the country in order to protect children and to ensure that they count on safe and protected environments. I would like now to introduce you to what we are going to see. This is a performance that was taped by one of the groups of young people with which we work here in Bolivia together with ChildFund. They are called Caminando hacia el futuro, which in English would be walking towards the future. And they take part of one of our programs. The program is about empowering adolescents and young people. It is about transferring leadership skills, giving them employment opportunities, as well as participation. And what we are going to see takes place usually in school, for school girls and boys, to raise awareness about the importance of self-esteem and self-love, to stop and to prevent abusive relationships and violence within the romantic relationships among them. So let's go to the tape, please.
que hayan tocado sus corazones, que hayan aprendido y profundizado en algo, ¿no? Ahora vamos a pasar nuestro equipo de confesiones y cada uno creo que tiene un cuaderno y un cartas, ¿no? Para que nos puedan contar si alguna vez han pasado por lo mismo o si alguna persona ha pasado por eso. Quisiera que nos cuenten nuestros jóvenes van a pasar con folletos para que puedan leer un poco más sobre qué es el amor propio.
Thank you so much to the theater group Caminando al Futuro. I think this was a very deep and also touching and emotional insights into the topic of self-love. And yeah, from our side, just thank you. And now I think I just hand over to Ludi and Roxana, because both of them will provide us with more information and background about their activities. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Roxana Núñez, and I am also one of the leaders of the club Walking Toward the Future. Now we're going to tell you a little bit about our club and how this initiative was born with theater, performing theater in schools. Hello, everyone. My name is Luis Quispe. We are from the city of Bolivia, and I am one of the leaders of the club Walking Towards the Future. I hope you liked a lot we carried out for you, and also the educational unit where we made this filming. Our club began in the year 2017, originally made up by 3 integrants who always liked to make community service, social duties, and everything inside of our community. Currently, Roxana and me continue. To this day, we are 22 young people between 17 and 28 years old, and our club, as said, is Walking Towards the Future. We carry out different activities in our community, and one of them is this theater. What inspired us to perform this theater about self-love are the life stories of adolescents and young people who told us that they were living in situations of violence in their relationships. Besides the amount of news about violence based on gender, both genders, that we have been seeing every day in our country. So we looked for some way to make the adolescents and young people reflect about these types of violence. At the beginning, we wanted to do a workshop, but most of the students and young people are not attracted by it because it's really common in schools. So that's why we decided to perform a silent theater, so we could cause an impact and gain the attention of the students, hoping for them to reflect about self-love and they develop more self-love in themselves, like I said. We have been carrying out this activity since last year in different educational units in our city. To this day, we have performed this theater in seven schools, reaching about 5,000 students. And also, we have been invited to present ourselves in fairs in our city. One of them was the Fair of the Thousand Colors. We also had the chance to present and perform our theater in a television channel. A few minutes before we start performing, we make a little workshop talking about self-love. Once we finished performing the play that you saw in the video, we asked the students to write down their insecurities, their questions, or if they are living a similar situation. And then we asked them to put that in our confession box. Afterwards, we get together with our club and we read their notes. Sometimes they thank us because they realized through our theater that they should have more self-love. And in other cases, they comment that they can identify with the play because they realized that they were living in a toxic relationship and yeah. Our plans for the future are to make and carry out more social dramas about the topics that the students write down in our confession boxes. We also want to look for more ways to get funds for our club. Currently, we are selling jelly or gelatin on the weekends. Or some of the members of our club that are still going to the to school sell that in school to the other students in the breaks. We have also participated in different contests about social projects to be able to earn a little bit of financial means so we can be able to buy more things and fund our club. We also want to establish ourselves formally as a non-lucrative organization because that would allow us to get funds more easily. Thank you very much.
I would like to say a big thank you to all of you who were, organizing this call and this webinar for weeks, probably months. It's been a very participatory process. In order to choose, for instance, Yolanda and the club, we organized a contest within our, our different programs participants. And it was Yolanda who won the contest. So she came here and is sharing her experience and insights today with us. And likewise with the club. So I would also like to thank the team, the ChildFund Bolivia's team, that were really very, helpful and very keen organizing everything for this day, for this webinar. Today is the Family Day celebration all over the world, I guess. And we wanted, yes, to make some reflection on what's going on here in the country, how much we need to continue working, for preventing violence against children, but very especially against women and girls. As you could see by Yolanda's presentation, we cannot say that violence affects everyone equally. As you could see, violence is affecting especially women and girls, and we need to take action. So we wanted to bring this reflection to you today, and we wanted to, make a call for action to you to continue supporting ChildFund in Bolivia, to continue supporting children here in the country, so that we can really make a difference in their lives. We can bring about empowerment, we can bring about changes, positive changes, so that they can really develop their full potential. Many thanks to all of you.